The sky above New Delhi tore open like fabric ripped by invisible hands. Dr. Sarah Chen watched from the International Defense Initiative headquarters as the portal expanded, its edges crackling with energy that made their instruments scream warnings. Through the swirling vortex, something massive stirred. "Contact in 30 seconds, Lieutenant Marcus Webb announced, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Sarah had spent 15 years studying theoretical xenobiology, but nothing in her research prepared her for what emerged. The creature was a nightmare given form. 40 meters of chitinous armor, 6 legs thick as redwood trunks, and a head that split into 3 separate jaws lined with crystalline teeth. Its roar shattered windows 15 blocks away. "Sweet mercy," whispered General Catherine Rodriguez, commander of the IDI forces. "How do we fight that?" The beast stepped fully through the portal, and behind it 2 more followed. Then 5, then dozens. They spread across the landscape like locusts, their alien screams harmonizing into a sound that made human ears bleed. Humanity had 60 minutes before the first major city fell. But humanity had something the invaders hadn't anticipated: spite. While the world's militaries mobilized, a construction worker named Pavel Volkov in Moscow made a decision. He climbed into his industrial mech, a machine designed for building skyscrapers, and drove it straight toward the nearest beast. The creature swatted at him with a claw that could split tanks. Pavel dodged, swung the mech's reinforced arm, and punched the beast square in its central jaw. The blow barely fazed it, but Pavel's action sparked something primal in human consciousness. Across every continent, ordinary people stopped running and started fighting. In Tokyo, a group of engineers jury-rigged their experimental plasma cutters into weapons. In São Paulo, firefighters discovered the beast's armor cracked under sustained heat. In Lagos, a teenager named Amara broadcast the creature's movement patterns, creating a real-time tactical map that spread across every network on Earth. Sarah watched the data flood in, her scientific mind processing possibilities. "General, the beasts share a neurological frequency. They're coordinated. Can we disrupt it?" "Maybe, if we—" Sarah paused, her eyes widening. "The portal. It's not just a doorway. It's their command center. Every creature is linked through it." Rodriguez understood immediately. "You want to close it. I want to weaponize it." The plan was insane. Insert a human team into the portal, plant nuclear devices, and collapse it from within. It would trap the beasts already on Earth, but prevent millions more from crossing over. Volunteers stepped forward before Rodriguez even finished explaining the mission's 90% fatality rate. Sergeant James "Doc" Patterson led the team, 12 soldiers from 8 nations. They mounted a captured beast, rode it back through the portal, and vanished into alien territory. On Earth, the battle intensified. The beast learned quickly, adapting to human tactics with terrifying intelligence, but humans adapted faster. When bullets failed, they used construction equipment. When claws tore through armor, they fought with trucks loaded with explosives. When a beast cornered a school in Mumbai, teachers formed a human chain and evacuated 300 children, while drawing the creature away with nothing but car alarms and courage. Humanity was outmatched in every physical dimension, but they fought with something the beasts couldn't comprehend: the absolute refusal to surrender. Pavel's industrial mech finally fell in the streets of Moscow, its hydraulics crushed. As the beast loomed over him, Pavel grabbed a broken steel beam and jammed it through a crack in the creature's armor. The beast shrieked and recoiled. Pavel died with a smile, having proven these monsters could bleed. Through the portal, Doc Patterson's team navigated a nightmare landscape. The alien world pulsed with organic architecture, and creatures beyond description watched from the shadows. They reached the portal's anchor point, a massive organic structure that throbbed like a heart. "Plant the charges," Doc ordered. "We've got company." Alien warriors, different from the beasts, bipedal and intelligent, converged on their position. The firefight was brutal. 3 team members fell, then 5. Doc armed the nuclear devices as enemies closed in from all sides. "Detonate in 60 seconds, he transmitted. "It's been an honor." On Earth, Sarah watched the countdown. Rodriguez stood beside her, every military commander on the planet listening to the same frequency. 50 seconds. In Madrid, a baker killed a beast by luring it into a collapsed building and bringing the structure down on both of them. 40 seconds. In Vancouver, An artist used drones with speakers to drive a creature off a cliff with sonic frequencies. 30 seconds. In Sydney, a surfer rode a wave straight into a beast's legs, causing it to stumble into power lines that electrocuted it. 20 seconds. Across Earth, humanity fought with everything: military might, improvised weapons, bare hands, and unbreakable will. 10 seconds. Doc Patterson stood alone, surrounded by alien warriors. He smiled at them, raised his middle finger in humanity's oldest gesture of defiance, and pressed the detonation trigger. The portal collapsed in a cascade of light and energy. The explosion rippled through dimensions, and every beast on Earth suddenly stopped, their coordination severed, their command broken. Humanity descended on them like a storm. It took 6 more hours to eliminate the remaining creatures. The cost was staggering: millions dead, cities in ruins, economies shattered. But humanity stood on their broken world and looked at the closed portal with bloodied but unbowed faces. Sarah Chen stepped outside the headquarters at dawn. The sky was clear again, innocent as if nothing had happened. Except everything had changed. They had faced gods and monsters. They had fought with whatever they had, weapons or wrenches, missiles or courage, and they had won. Not because they were stronger, not because they were smarter, but because when the universe opened a door to hell and invited them to die, humanity looked at that offer and said, "Not today."